few of these rules can be a little confusing for the viewer, the participant the first time they've done them, and it takes a little bit to understand the scoring system, you know. But basically, a raw explanation would be the SRS is trying to separate the best performance from anything less. So the simplest thing that I like to explain is if you drew a straight line either from the handler to the blind or from the handler to the mark, any deviation from that line should be scored less than a perfect score. So if it's a slight bend, it's usually 2 points for being offline. If it's maybe they're avoiding an obstacle, going around some water or some cover or something, there's going to be maybe a 5-point or a 10-point penalty assessed. But typically our rules are based on 2 points, 5 points, and then 10 points. And anything above 10 points has to be explained by the judges in the handlers meeting. And a penalty more than 10 points would be something like completely avoiding the test, going completely around an obstacle, not challenging the test, something like that. But it could, the judge's discretion, it could be anything. They could be 50 points, it could be 250 points, whatever the judge feels like it. But basically, if a dog gets a 0, that dog did absolutely perfect on that mark. And very rarely does that happen. We're usually going to see some form of deviation on every mark, maybe a little small loop, maybe a couple of loops in the area, maybe the dog never makes the area and has to be handled. And once the dog's handled, you've basically told the judges your dog does not know where that mark is. You're going to be assessed a 20-point penalty for not marking that bird, plus whatever whistles and hand signals that you have to use to get that dog to that destination.